Hello and welcome to an OC Children's Screening Registry training for Cerner users. My name is Jacqueline Norton and I'm the Screening Registry Coordinator with Help Me Grow Orange County. This training is specifically for registry users that are utilizing the Cerner platform that has been mapped to automatically feed information into the registry. In today's training, we're going to discuss an overview of the OC Children's Screening Registry, do a brief introduction of participant types as well as viewing abilities, and we will discuss how screening results and referrals are auto-populated through the Cerner feed. And we'll become familiar with the following site features, the login page, child search and add features, as well as conducting reports. So the OC Children's Screening Registry is an online database that launched in February of 2018 for primary healthcare and community-based providers and school districts to be able to view and enter developmental, behavioral, and trauma screening data. The intention of this registry is to communicate screening results between organizations and healthcare providers. It currently includes 5 screening tools: the Ages and Stages Questionnaire 3rd Edition, or the ASQ3, the ASQ Social Emotional 2nd Edition, or the ASQ SE2, the Parents Evaluation of Developmental Status, or PEDS, the Modified Checklist for Autism and Toddlers Revised, or the MCHAT-RF, and the 3 variations of the Pediatric ACEs Screening and Related Life Event Screener, or the PEARLS. This registry is administered by Help Me Grow Orange County and CHOC Children's, and it was developed in 2018 with funding from the HRSA Healthy Tomorrows Award. There are 3 different participant types, and I'd like to define those for you here, just to have an understanding of the other types of users that also participate in this collaborative effort of the registry. What is true for any of these participant types is 2 things. One is that the data that's collected and entered by each service provider can be viewed by that provider in its entirety. What this means is that anyone in your clinic who has access to the registry, in your case, anyone in your clinic that's also entering screening information and making referrals on the Cerner platform, when you log into the registry, it can be viewed by anyone in your clinic. So it doesn't quite matter who entered that information. Anyone from your clinic can see what someone else in your clinic has entered. The only time that different participant types really come into play is when the data collected by another service provider, but is common to both parties, how it's viewed. So essentially, if you have a patient in common with a different clinic, or you have a patient in common with a home visitation program or another community-based organization that is also entering screening results for this child that you have in common, how you gain access to those results is what's dependent on the type of user that you are. All of you watching this video that are on the Cerner platform, which automatically feeds screening results and referrals into the registry, are considered treating providers, this kind of top tier user, which means that you have a treatment relationship with the child that would warrant a benefit if screening results were shared. And essentially what you do in the registry to gain access to screening results that another user has entered is attest to that treatment relationship. And I'll show you how to do that in a few slides. More just as an FYI to know that there are other types of users, one being a non-treating provider. This essentially is all other types of users that are not direct treatment providers. They have to follow a different process to gain screening results that, for example, you have entered on a patient. So they do have to obtain a written valid HIPAA authorization form from a child's parent to allow access to view screening results. So they go through a different attestation process within the registry. Non-treating providers include school districts, community-based organizations such as home visitation programs, or any other entity that is conducting developmental screenings in Orange County that has signed on to be a participant in the registry. The third type of user is the most rare, the data entry only user. Essentially, this organization would sign on to the registry knowing that they conduct developmental screenings and would love to contribute that data to this platform. However, there's no purpose for them to view records from another service provider. So those are the 3 different types of participants. And again, you are all considered on that top tier treating provider. So I want to talk a little bit about Cerner and the registry and the application programming interface that was built to allow these 2 systems to talk to each other. So as of January 2019, we've set up so Cerner automatically feeds entered screening results to the OC Children's Screening Registry. So this means the work that you're already used to doing in Cerner when it comes to adding screening results or making referrals to Help Me Grow automatically feeds into the registry, and no additional manual entries are necessary for all, for example, CHOC Primary Care Clinics on the Cerner electronic health record platform. It is a one-way feed, so the information only goes from Cerner to the registry. So it is still beneficial for you as a user to have terms of use and an account for the registry, so you may log in and utilize its other features. But essentially, Help Me Grow orders that are made in Cerner also feed into the registry and are sent directly to Help Me Grow's system for tracking access to referrals, what we call our STAR system, when a screening is also entered. So in Cerner, I'll show you where that page is, where you can make referrals to Help Me Grow. When that is accompanied with a screening result that you've also entered, then we receive that referral automatically, and we'll make efforts to contact the family and be able to provide information and resources based on the screening result that you entered. CHOC Primary Care Clinic users on the Cerner platform, again, must still log into the registry to be able to view entries that are made by other users of the registry. And because it is a one-way feed, you must also log into the registry to be able to view information on outcomes and referrals that you've made to Help Me Grow. So to log in to the registry, I'll go ahead and show you the landing page and the navigation bar. So this is where you would log in. If you don't have an account already, of course, you can request an account on the landing page, and you see that option there on the bottom. And if you have a terms of use signed, then I can get you access to the registry. So you should have your own username and password and account just for HIPAA compliancy purposes. But you can go ahead and log in. And this is the first page that you will see, which is the child search and add feature. Because the registry is intended to be a shared platform, we want all screenings for one child to be put in the same place, in the same file, so to speak, for that child. So when another user is thinking that they're adding a child for the first time because they are manually entering, unlike you as a Cerner user, they will also be technically searching the system so that if the child already exists within the registry, they add a screening to that child's file rather than adding another file for the child. But in your case, you'll be logging into the registry only to do a child search because your Cerner platform is already feeding the results into the registry automatically. So you can use these 4 fields to find a child within the registry. You can also access recently viewed children. So if you've been searching a patient recently, you can click on recently viewed, and there'll be a list there of options that you've opened recently that you can view a little bit more quickly. You also can access My Account, which means that you can update your password, or you can update your security questions. If you've logged yourself out a few times and you want to update those security questions, you can always do so at the My Account feature. And then, of course, your log out. Some of you may have access to different organizations because you may work at a clinic that has multiple locations, and both or more of those locations have been built out in the registry as their own location for reporting purposes. If that's the case, you'll mention that on your terms of use form. I'll make sure to give you access to all the clinic locations that you need. And if you do have access to more than one organization, you'll have this select organization option on your left navigation bar, and then you'll be able to choose which organization you want to work within at that point. So you'll see something like this, and you can select the one that you want to go into. Everyone will have access to running reports within the registry. This is anywhere from aggregate reports to screening results by child and things like that. I will go ahead and go into a little bit more detail towards the end of this video. So let's talk about the child search and add feature. So if you're finding an existing child, you may not know that you are, but if you're looking up a child in the registry, I've seen a lot of practices do this for maybe chart prep. If you want to see if a child's recently received an ASQ3 or an MCHAT or a PEARL screening, for example, somewhere else, it may save you time during your visit because you won't have to duplicate that screening during the visit. So if you have someone looking up a patient that will be coming in for an appointment, the next day, they can search for them in the registry. And if they do find them, they'll see something like this. So it'll pop up The registry is a little bit is robust at this point, so you might see multiple options, but it'll highlight for you what matched in your search, so you're clicking the right one. And you can click view on the right hand side, like you see that arrow pointing to, and cross-reference other information like caregiver name and address and all of that. And you'd be able to open up this file and work within it. You may see a long history of developmental screenings that this child's received. You can see all of the screening tools that have been completed, when they were done, an interval if it's applicable, and the result. If this is not a child you've entered yourself and you'll need to gain access to those results, I'll also show you how to do that. But you'll be able to see what program conducted the screening, if they were referred to Help Me Grow or to another organization. But I'd like to show you kind of this longer list of screenings to show that any results that indicate concerns will appear highlighted in purple. So this is helpful when you're kind of looking at a whole host or a long history of developmental screenings that have been done. At a glance, you can see if this child's had many or few risk results, and also be able to see if there's maybe a trend to those results. Like if the child was scoring above cutoff or at no risk for the first 2 years of life, and then suddenly there's a lot of purples, you'd be able to learn a lot from about that child's developmental history. So now I'll show you how to gain access to screening results for a child that you have not entered yourself, or what I mean by that is that you did not work with the child directly and enter screening results, again, through that Cerner pathway. So if you're looking up a child and they already exist in the registry with previous entries by another user, you will be able to pull up their file, but what you see circled there is it won't show you the screening results. It'll say that you don't have authorization to see the screening results, and you can complete that authorization by clicking there. And I'll show you how to do that in the next slide. You can also bypass this step and go ahead and view the file without being able to see this last screening result. And you can always attest at a later time. When you attest or when you request that access, you'll just check off this box that says, service provider is considered a treating provider, and the service provider has a treatment relationship with the child that would warrant a benefit if these screening results were shared. So you click that button and click save, and then you'll be able to access the screening result as though you'd entered it yourself, but you still will be able to see where it came from and be able to see the information in its entirety. So you'll notice that when you search for a child after you've attested on their file, then you will be able to see, again, the screening result. You'll know where it came from, and you'll be able to see what the result was. So now I want to show you how to enter screening results into the registry. Essentially, again, what that is you doing your typical work and entries in Cerner. So for all of these different tools, the next few slides will probably have screenshots of pages that you're familiar with seeing in Cerner, but just to kind of take you through that, it is essentially the same work that you will do within the Cerner platform. So you'll go to Forms, Well Child Screen Assessment, and the PCN developmental screenings to have access to be able to enter any of these 5 screening tools that are built out also in Cerner. So for the ASQ3 and the SC2, again, you may be very familiar in seeing this. If you complete all of these fields as you normally would, this information is mapped to automatically go into the registry. There is nothing additional that you have to do to ensure that the information flows through. For the PEDS and the MCHAT is the same thing. You would go ahead and respond with what PEDS path was the result, and then the MCHAT, you'll answer if it was low, medium, or high risk. And then with the medium risk entries, you'll answer if a follow-up was conducted, yes or no. And if the response is yes, then you'll be asked to enter the follow-up results. And all of these radio dials are what helps map it to the registry, because the registry is built out the same way. With the PEARLs, you'll go to Forms and select the drop-down list, and then select ACEs Screening. You'll select ACEs Screening from the drop-down menu, and then you'll go ahead and see this page. So you'll choose from the power form that pops up for you to enter the PEARL screenings, all of these drop-downs depending on the score, and if it's the the Pearl score for 11 years or younger, or the Pearl score for 12 to 17 years old, depending on if the adolescent self-reported or if the caregiver self-reported. So Cerner to the registry, referrals to Help Me Grow. Again, if you've entered any one of those screening results that we went over and you feel that it would be beneficial for the family to connect with Help Me Grow for additional support and care coordination and linking to services or programs to address the results of the screening that you just entered, you will now go to Refer to Help Me Grow under the Refer to Community Resources options that you're used to seeing in Cerner. Doing these things in conjunction will automate a referral. That means we will reach out to the family. So no need for the family to call us or for you to refer them separately through our online portal. This is something that will now be automated. And just to know that if you're not conducting a developmental screening that day, but you still choose this feature to refer to Help Me Grow, the parent does need to call us. So just to note that only those two things done at the same time will elicit that automated referral. But I want to show you again why it would be beneficial for you to log into the OC Children's Screening Registry, even though your screening results and referrals automatically feed into the system, is so that you can search the child and be able to see outcomes on these referrals that you've made to Help Me Grow. So just a breakdown of what you'll see. If you refer a child through Cerner and automatically go and check the registry, at first you'll see that the referral status is processing because it does sit in a list of referrals that we assign every day for one of our care coordinators to reach out to the family to complete an intake. But you will see on the right-hand side, these are the two columns that also update in real time because our data tracking system has a bilateral communication with the registry. So referrals that come through the registry that we work on in our data tracking system, in our client tracking system, any work that we're doing in there also feeds into the registry. So you'd be able to check up and see what's going on with the families that you've referred. So you'll always see it in this organized in this way, where there's a referral category, there's a concern and an outcome, and then a reason that we've closed the referral. But of course, before any information is provided, this is what you'll see, that no referrals are provided at this time, and that it's not closed yet, so the reason stays as TBD. We do make 4 attempts to reach a family, including sending home a letter, so that we can make sure that we do reach them, whether it be by phone, text, email, and again, sending that letter home that we are trying to get a hold of them because they were referred by you based on the results of a developmental screening. Again, these referrals are assigned daily, so once it is assigned, this status will change to accepted, but you may still see that no referrals have been provided yet because we're in that process of making those 4 attempts to reach the family. Eventually, we do, reach the family and we'll provide resources and information. So in this example, you can see that we referred to Regional Center of Orange County to address a gross motor concern, but you'll notice that the outcome is still TBD because we do provide the information and referrals, and then we will conduct follow-up to make sure that the family is connected to the resource they were provided. But we give the family a week or 2, depending on the resource, to either hear back from the organization if we directly referred, or to give the parent some time or caregiver some time to reach out and make those calls. So if you see this, it means that we're still in that process of following up or waiting to give the family some time to make some progress. Hopefully this is what we always see, is that the outcome eventually is that the family was connected. And the reason that we closed the referral is because we were able to reach the family for follow-up. They let us know that they were connected, they had their appointment, or they're receiving services. So you may see that the reason the referral was closed is because the caregiver provided us with the outcome information. You may see a couple of different variations of this, but I'm hopeful that this will be easy to interpret regardless of what these 2 columns are stating. However, if you ever have questions about interpreting these outcomes, you can always reach out and ask for some clarification. But in this top example, on the bottom circled half, let's say you see no referrals provided by Help Me Grow at this time, and we were unable to reach after multiple attempts, so the referral was closed. This means that we were not able to successfully reach the family initially to conduct that intake. So this is information you'll be able to see in the registry. And again, if you're logging in for perhaps chart prep or gaining information, you can just, continue the conversation with the family and state that that, when you referred them, maybe it was a month or two ago at this point, that we were never able to reach them, and then encourage them to give us a call back for information, ask if they got that letter in the mail, and they can call us back and continue if there's still a risk or need for referral. And you may see something a little bit more in depth with providing a lot of different resources and addressing a lot of different needs. So that's the example you see down there. But again, everything is laid out for you to understand whether it was connected, not connected, or if the service is pending, and why we ultimately closed the referral with the family. In the registry, there is an opportunity to track if you've made referrals to other organizations or programs. With this Cerner feed, because this referral to other is not built out in Cerner, it's not something that can automatically feed into the registry. But if you are making referrals to the school district, regional center, another community-based organization, or new mental health service, or something else, because this is a shared communication platform, it would be beneficial for you to, again, log into the registry and complete this manual feature if possible, just to communicate to other users that you maybe did make an additional referral. So you can always search the child like we talked about a few slides ago, open up the screening result that was automatically fed through by Cerner, and make these edits. So this box that says referral to help me grow would already be checked off if you made that referral in Cerner. But this other box at the bottom where it says referral to other organization or program, you can come in and track those notes, again, to communicate with other users that you've also referred somewhere else. Or if you did not refer to Help Me Grow within Cerner, you don't want to, you can come in here and explain why, because you made maybe these other referrals. Okay, so conducting reports within the registry, again, is another benefit to logging in to the OC Children's Screening Registry. So everyone will have access to this, like we talked about at the beginning. On the left-hand side, if you click on reports, you'll see this report homepage, and you can click on any of these links to generate a report. Whenever you request an account on the registry site after you've submitted a terms of use to me and request an account, when it's approved, I'll send you a few confirmation emails, and one of them will include useful resources like frequently asked questions about the registry, how to discuss the registry with a caregiver in case you do get questions about it. And the other thing I'll include is a definition of all of these different reports that you can run within the registry. These reports can be generated at an organization level or at a program level for a specific organization. So like I mentioned before, if you work at a clinic that has multiple locations and they've been built out that way, that's where it kind of becomes more beneficial, is when you're running reports, because you can filter per location and run reports for either both together or just one location at a time. But just to quickly show you, this report, for example, is an aggregate of all the screening tools. So again, you can see all these filters that you can choose from to run here. You can do it also by total number of screenings or using a unique count. And then you can go ahead and click Run Report, and you'll see something like this. So any filter that you chose will show up here at the top, and then you'll see this breakdown of all the different tools, an aggregate of how many have been done within a specific time frame if you specified one. And then you can export these reports to a PDF version or to an image for sharing or reporting out in whatever need you may have for this information. I'm going to go ahead and skip through a couple of these other examples. But thank you so much for your time. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact me. Again, my name is Jacqueline Norton, the Screening Registry Coordinator with Help Me Grow. My phone number and email address are there on the screen for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any further questions, or if you are not yet a user of the registry and you want me to send you a terms of use and those confirmation emails with those useful resources that I mentioned once you request an account, I would be happy to do so. Thank you so much.